Human trafficking and other such human rights violations in accordance with moral law. Definition of human trafficking is the action of illegally transporting people from one area to another, typically for the purposes of forced labor or to sexually violate them. There is many reasons why people may commit such a heinous and morally wrong crime such as human trafficking. One reason people do human trafficking is because it allows a great source of money and revenue. Of course, earning money in this way is still highly immoral and often leads to the person becoming greedy. One reason people want money from human trafficking is to support their family that they either currently have or the family that they want. People might also do human trafficking to help their family from a threat from another person who's threatening to kill or harm their family members in one way or another. Although they try to help the family, it often doesn't end up well because they end up splitting the family from the inside instead of trying to heal the family, which they try to do originally. According to the church, human trafficking is morally wrong because it goes against all 7 of the church's teaching on social issues. According to the church, human trafficking is an intrinsic evil and a moral wrong which no one should ever do, no matter the possibility or situation that they see themselves in, no matter how desperate they might seem. Church thinks the punishment should be the same no matter the reason that you committed human trafficking. Countries' governments prescribe jail or even death for human traffic violations from people. The Catholic Church has held this view for many decades, even when, in the majority Catholic countries, human rights violations were prevalent, such as genocides or working people near to death for 18-hour workdays in sweatshops. However, some of these actions are still permissible in some countries in Africa and Asia. While most developed nations have stopped this practice of human rights violations, some still continue it to this day, such as China and India, both of which repress basic human rights such as free speech and the right to not overwork for 18 hours a day in a sweatshop. However, these are not the only countries that frequently abuse human rights. In accordance with the church, other such countries abuse the basic social teachings of the church, such as overworking the human or killing the human spirit in other such ways. Some countries commit worse human rights violations than others. The church thinks that all these human rights violations should be treated the same and condemned the same no matter how different they may be. The ends never justify the means, so no matter where a country is now, how it got there is very important, such as Germany. Of course, the Nazis committed huge human rights violations such as the Holocaust and other such atrocities. However, Germany is a relatively nice country right now. Of course, God will always accept your apologies who actually mean it no matter what, but some countries and the people at top who actually committed these acts of human rights violations refuse to accept that they actually happen to this day. Of course, the church is not free of human rights violations either. From the day of the Crusades, where it used to kill innocent civilians, to today, where it accepts some of the most corrupt human right violating regimes. I agree with the church's stance on how human trafficking and other such human rights violations are moral evil and should not be allowed. However, I do disagree with the church in recognizing some corrupt human rights violator countries that are often ruled by tyrannical dictators. The following is the clip of the church recognizing a state known as Palestine, which has recently called for the death of all Jews and non-Muslims.
It formally recognizes the state of Palestine with an agreement on Catholic Church activities in areas controlled by the Palestinian Authority. The Vatican's deputy foreign minister said the agreement aims to enhance the life and activities of the Catholic Church and its recognition at the judicial level. The treaty will be officially signed by respective authorities, quote, in the near future. Vatican officials stress that although the agreement is significant, it is not the Holy See's first recognition of the state of Palestine, and it is already listed as the state of Palestine in our official yearbook.
This concludes whatever that was. Thank you for listening.